Hi, I'm Tom Clapham. I'm a resident here at Overture Stone Oak in San Antonio, and we were very fortunate to have the Bexar County Buffalo Soldiers that made a fine presentation. And the Buffalo Soldiers Association is a multicultural organization, and they're dedicated to educating the general public about the contributions in settling the western sector of the United States during the 1800s. There were the main part of the presentation was the artifacts and them explaining the artifacts and the uniforms and things that they did back in those days. It made us feel like we were right there in the olden days, and we really appreciate it. They did a fantastic job, and we thank them very much.
Take care of their personal hygiene, even down when they go outside, the old lantern. They take care of the weapon, the horse, and everything. I'm gonna let the man start it off over here, and then I end it up.
Okay. We got right here a Dutch oven. This is what they use to cook the stew and all that. We've got a large coffee pot. We got water canteen. Cup, a tin cup. You see back there? Got a little skillet and something to clean it with. Then we got the mess kit. Got knife and fork and a pan. And this is what the enlisted would use. This is what the officers use. They had a folded. Like a Boy Scouts open up.
How about that? I didn't know they had it back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip around and then I'm gonna pass it over. There's a few things, I'm having a little fog.
Y'all breaking him in, this is his first time.
We got the bugle here. And back in the days, the bugle was very important back then because that's how the commander communicated what he needed to do to the troops. Because, you know, you got 175 people, whatever, in a building, in a war. Well, the bugler, the commander would shout out the commands in the bugle. So it's very important. The bugle was very important back then. Let me see.
Yeah, there were 38 different commands they gave with the bugle. Because you can imagine a horse gallon all at one time, you can't hear. So that's why that bugle was so important, how he controlled his men. So.
This is a toothbrush. One made out of bone and horse hair, wood, and pig hair. That's tooth powder. Okay, now, if they didn't have no tooth powder left, what would they clean their teeth with? They had to take care of their personal hygiene.
Sand or salt.
There you go.
Just sand, a little dirt, a little ashes, anything that had brittle. That's the way they took care of their tooth. You know, I was telling you about that old personal hygiene right there. You know, they had to wash up now. That old lye soap sure came in handy.
Don't taste too good, though.
Like somebody got their mouth washed.
Oh yeah, I done made some when I was in chemistry. This is called a housewife kit. You know, there wasn't no women in the army, so they had to sew their old patches on. They had to sew their old buttons on and everything, so they had to take care of themselves.
They had one uniform.
You know, when I'm around little kids, I always told them, this is bad for your health. Now, as an old boy like me, I spent 24 years in the army. I never touched the stuff. That's the chewing tobacco and the regular pipe tobacco. Now, you know, when I went out on maneuvers, you know, they call it hardtack bread. I didn't want no moldy bread, so I had to get something that would last me a while. You know, that old flour and water and stuff, they rolled it out. They took this here and cut it out. Then they had to cook it even. They call it hardtack bread. You know, when around the campfire at night, they had old play cards, play music, harmonica, zoo harp, and everything. That was the night. Come down to it, you know, they had to read and write. Old chaplain had them reading and writing. So they had to have that, you know, the old quail. Okay, they didn't. If they ran out of ink, what would they use?
Blood.
Huh?
Blood. Yes, it
A little blood, you're right.
is.
How about a little berry juice? How about a little sut? You know how you take that sut, put a little water in it and stir it up? You know, he was talking about that was $13 every month. You know, that big money back then. I joined the army for that if I wasn't getting nothing. You know, this book got the Medal of Honor winners in it. This book got Kathy Williams in it. Everything we do is by the book. You know, I went outside. I had to see my way through to that. It's dark out there. That's what it is. Then I got a small lantern for my little tent. Got the little camera in it and everything. Now, anybody seen one of these? Yeah. You know those spit between, you know, they don't chewing about. Well, you know, Wells Fargo always had that old money box. You know, that old cowboy used to go out there and shoot that lock off. I don't think he'd have shot this lock off. You know, and he told you that, you know, Buffalo soldiers went west to help keep the peace. You know, these handcuffs, and for the real bad ones, they had to have shots. He took care. You know, you seen old Kathy Williams, she had a little bag on her shoulder. They call it a habitat bag. They kept all their personal items, their mail and everything in the habitat bag. Now, anybody know what this is? You know, all them Boy Scouts know what this is. Girl Scouts too. You know, that old canteen. But why did they put that cloth on there? That's right, to keep it cool. You know, when it gets wet, it stays cool. You know, this here ammo pouch here, that's for the weapons there, them rifles. This ammo pouch here is for the head. Now,
You kept 2 cylinders in there.
Yeah.
That was your combat explode.
now, you remember she said infantry? That's what that infantry had. They didn't have a sword, but they had what they call a bayonet. The hooks to it. That's what the infantry used. Old cavalry, it had what they call a sword and a weapon. But, now guess what? He's riding along there with this old weapon here and shooting on a horse. What if he loses it? He couldn't lose it because he knew he had to go back there and face that quartermaster. And he had to pay for that. So he had this old strap. He put it up over his shoulder, hook it to it. When he fired that one round, he dropped it down beside it. Rolled on out. You know that old horse, he's pretty rugged. Back there in the days, you remember he told you that the money was sparse. So you know that grain must have been sparse too. So they had to put that grain in here, put this around that old horse's neck. If I'm out on maneuvers, I went to old quartermaster. If I went out for 2 days, got 1 day here, 1 day up there. First day I pour it in there, let it meet. Second day I pour it in there, let it meet. Now, if I hadn't to lose the old shoe, the old horse had his old spare tire right there with him. He had an old spare tire right there. I had to keep it. Now, you go to the color saddle.
Yeah, just go back, these rifles, what they carry, this is a Sharp 54 rifle that they carry. It was a single fire. They used to have rifles that fired multiple rounds, but they didn't have good fire discipline, so they went back and they went to this. But I watched videos, what they did, they put the rounds in between their fingers, so when they would shoot, put a round in, because when this goes up, it throws the round out and you just reload. So this gave them better fire discipline in firefights so they wouldn't run out of ammo. And with the infantry rifle, this is a Springfield. Yeah, it was a black powder, but yeah, so they used this as a Springfield weapon. So, and they also use a rifle called the Springfield Trapdoor. It's similar to the cavalry did too, back in those days. So, and I use a 45-70 round, and it's a big round. So I imagine getting hit with that round, it would hurt you. I own one, that's why I know a 45-70 is good for hunting. All right. Now, this saddle was not made for comfort for you. It was made for comfort for the horse. So what they did, the people that came and looked at it, they cut out the middle. It's named the McCulloch saddle, named after General McCulloch, who went and researched this saddle. And that's why I was saying cavalrymen were small, and this saddle is not very comfortable. So, but like I said, it wasn't made for you, it was made for the horse, to keep the horse comfortable. And you had your two, your bedrolls where you slept, and of course, in your stirrups, you had these protectors, because you didn't want to be riding your horse and your foot slipped all the way through. You know what a horse does? Just keeps running. So it drags you to death. So that's the reason why they put these protectors on here, to stop them. So if you got wounded or shot, you may lose your balance. You didn't want your foot to go all the way through and be drugged to death by the horse. So that was very important. And of course, this is an officer saddle. So they made sure they had one there. And of course, you had your saddle badge. And this is the bit that goes in the horse. This is the steering wheel. Goes in the horse mouth. That's how you control your horse. We have several of our members who actually ride the horses and use the McCulloch saddles too in the parades and stuff that we do. So this the saddle was made for them. But like I said, this actually concludes our briefing. And like I said again, it was our pleasure to come here to present this to you, and I hope you enjoyed it. And we're here to answer any of your questions. And if you want to take a picture of him, good luck. Your phone won't break.